at least sharing devices juga lah. Kalau ada yang lain dia tidak okay, boleh share device dengan kawan semasa Google Meet. Okay, so before I continue, I would just like to give an overview of what we will do in this Google Meet. Seperti yang saya cakap dalam Telegram, Google Meet ini kita gunakan untuk discuss tutorial questions yang berkenaan dengan 2.1, 2.2. So that's going to be the subjective questions. Subjective questions 1 and 2, 2 and 3. I'm going to share my screen. Habis discussion tu, kalau kamu ada sebarang soalan, kamu boleh tanyalah. Terutamanya yang berkaitan dengan 2.1, 2.2. Kalau ada soalan berkenaan chapter 1 masih lagi pun boleh juga. So this is what I'm seeing. This is the multiple choice questions. We'll look at that at the end of the chapter. Okay. Part B, structured questions. Question number 1 is on, this is the carbon cycle. So carbon cycle is going to be 2.3. Kita skip dulu. We're going to go into question 2. Figure 2 shows a type of ecological pyramid in an ecosystem. Okay. Setakat ni, sebelum kita masuk ke dalam tutorial questions ni, kamu okay kah dengan 2.1 dengan 2.2? 2.1 is ecosystem concept. We already have an overview about what is ecosystem before the holiday. And then 2.2 is talking about energy flow through an ecosystem. So, daripada rangkaian makanan kepada ecological pyramid. Itulah konsep yang ada dalam 2.2. Just muting my phone. Any questions before I continue? Okay, nampaknya tidak soalan. Then kita teruskan sajalah. Okay, sorry the layout for this document is a bit ugly. Sebab kalau dokumen ni pindah-pindah pergi komputer lain, kadang-kadang dia jadi hodoh. So I hope you will accept it as it is, even though it's not as beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to look at this question right here. Figure 2 shows a type of ecological pyramid in an ecosystem. One blue color. And in this pyramid, when we look at it, it's talking about energy. Sepatutnya saya tanya kamu, Mbak, ini pyramid jenis apa? Oh, this is apa sudah nama dia tuh? Ecological. Oh my gosh, I forgot my own notes. Hold on. I'm trying to remember what I wrote for my notes. This is. Oh, this is pyramid of energy. Okay. Right. So saya tulis sini. Sebelum saya terlupa, ini adalah pyramid of energy. Macam mana saya tahu ini adalah pyramid of energy? Sebab di bawah sini dia start dengan light energy dan di sini dia punya unit bla 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 kilojoules, all that other unit stuff. Okay, so that's how you know this is for energy. Kalau energy akan ada dia punya kilojoules, or I think it's only kilojoules. K kecil, J besar. That is the unit we usually use for energy. So it's starting from light energy from the sun. This is from the sun. 8.7 times 10 to the power of 6. When it gets to the consumers, to producers, so producers are your tumbuh-tumbuhan. Okay, your producers are going to make their own food via photosynthesis, and the chemical energy that the producers will keep in their body will be this, 97,155. Ini adalah tenaga kimia yang ada dalam producer. Bila primary consumer, contohnya ulat bulu, makan kita punya producer, only about 10% will be kept as chemical energy in the primary consumer. Again, only about 10%, only about 10%. Tidak selalu 10%, kalau soalan bagi maklumat macam ni, data macam ni, then kita perlu kira lah berapa persen yang actually dibawa kepada trophic level yang seterusnya. Once again, I'm reminding you that one level in here is considered one trophic level. So sini ada 1, 2, 3, 4 trophic level. Okay. Lim asked in the chat, Miss, how to differentiate pyramid of number and pyramid of biomass if the question doesn't state type of pyramid? Then we need to have a good look at the questions. Now, do you have any examples? If you have any examples, we'll have a look later. But usually for pyramid of number and pyramid of biomass, we have to look at the units in the pyramid itself. So you look at the data in there lah. Ataupun tengok apa lagi clue yang ada pada soalan. So you have to look at these numbers. And also read all the questions in order to find out which pyramid it is exactly. But good question, Lim. Kalau kamu jumpa soalan yang berkenaan dengan soalan Lim, which is ini piramid biomass, ini piramid number atau piramid energy, kamu rasa menarik, kamu boleh send dalam chat di Telegram ataupun di chat dalam WhatsApp. Okay. I hope you're okay with this diagram. If you have any question about diagram, you can ask now, or else I will continue with 2A. Okay, I'm going to continue with 2A. What is the main energy source of the pyramid above? Anybody have any answer?
Light.
Light. Light from where? From the sun.
Yeah, sun.
Yes,
Sun.
correct. So light from the sun ataupun just write sun. Oh, sorry. Sun is capital letter. So asalkan ada perkataan sun ataupun light from the sun, you get 1 mark. So that's the simplest question. Second, 2B. Why plant is described as producer? Any answers? Okay, so Marnie punya jawapan first trophic level, not quite. Not quite the correct answer. Eva answers plant make their own food. Konsep betul, keyword belum ada. Christina says it can carry out photosynthesis. So for the most correct answer, why plant is described as producer is because it carries out photosynthesis. Akil said because it can directly use light energy. Yes, can be accepted. Akil's answer, because plants can directly use light energy, boleh. The long answer here from the answer scheme, saya baca dia punya jawapan panjang dalam answer scheme. Plant captures sunlight energy by photosynthesis and converts it to chemical energy, which is stored in food or carbohydrate in their own biomass. So jawapan skema ini lebih panjang lah. Dia cakap ada light energy, ada photosynthesis. Photosynthesis jadi chemical energy disimpan dalam bentuk carbohydrate. But I will accept it if you simply state photosynthesis. Make their own food sekejap, kurang tepat. Lim's answer in the chat, plant can trap light energy and then convert light energy into chemical energy through photosynthesis. Boleh terima. Correct also, but make sure you spell photosynthesis correctly. Sana your spelling terlebih satu T. Okay, very good. Lots of answers. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Good job. Okay, so I'm moving on to question 2C. 2C, give two types of ecological pyramid, two other types. Ini yang kita sudah mention tadi lah. So selain daripada pyramid of energy yang kita ada di atas, dua lagi jenis pyramid adalah you don't have to write capital letter, tidak semestinya tulis dengan huruf besar, tapi asalkan betullah ejaan tu, biomass numbers. If you want to write number pyramid, tidak juga lah salah, tapi macam bodoh bila dibaca. So, if you write pyramid of biomass, wow, it sounds more fancy, sounds better. So, try to write pyramid of biomass rather than biomass pyramid. Cheeky. Okay, I am moving on to 2D. Calculate the percentage of energy transferred from primary consumers to tertiary consumers. And you should write your answer up to 2 decimal places. I'm making more space here. Okay, percentage of energy transferred from primary consumer to tertiary consumers. So the value that I need to take out from this diagram is energy from primary consumer to tertiary consumer. This one should be clear, from primary to tertiary. Okay, anybody want to try to type in the chat or open their mic to tell me how they calculated? Macam mana mo calculate yung ni? What are the numbers? Okay. Percentage of energy. Initial minus final. Okay, Nadi message in the chat, initial minus final. That's only half of the way. Kalau kita ambil initial minus final, initial minus final is not gonna, okay, and then divide by initial value. Oh no, tidak. You don't need the initial minus final, tapi yang divide with initial value itu betul. So Christina's answer, final divide initial, is correct. So we're going to take the 70. Ambil 70 yang dari sini. Sorry ya kalau terbingung sekejap. Tadi saya salah cakap. Okay, tapi ini bahagi dengan ini and then times 100%. Yes, as Uzair and Intan already say in the chat. 70 divide by 8014 times 100%. Exactly. Is going to be 0.87%. Did you guys get the same answers? Okay, Lim said you did get the same answers. Okay, good. So asalkan dapat 0.87%, you get 1 mark. Walaupun ini soalan 1 marka, asalkan kamu nampak soalan subjektif ataupun masa dalam exam nanti, sebaik-baiknya kamu tunjukkan juga jalan kerja kamu. Okay, although it's only 1 mark, the mark is going to be at the final answer. Always show your working. So just in case there's extra marks or just in case there is problem with the question, the examiner can see your train of thoughts. Yeah, Nadi, saya pun terbingung tadi. It's okay. Alright. Yeah, apa? Saya translate apa yang saya cakap tadi. Masa exam, tulis saja jalan kerja kamu supaya kalau ada masalah soalan ka, dia orang gaduh pasal answer scheme salah kah, then pemeriksa boleh tengok kamu punya jawapan, boleh tengok, okay, this is how the student come to that answer, maybe you get extra marks, I don't know. All right, okay, I'm moving on. I'm moving on to 2E. Explain why less than 10% of the energy available at one trophic level is transferred to the next higher trophic level. Anyone wants to try answering for 2E? Explain why less than 10% of the energy is transferred to the next trophic level. This one is 2 marks. Any answers in the chat? Or maybe you're typing, so I'll give you a bit more time to type. Okay, Christina's answer in the chat. Saya baca ya. Because some of the energy is lost through respiration, excretion, transpiration, and decomposition. Okay, good. For this one, I think I can give 1 mark. Untuk jawapan Christina, dia mention respiration, excretion, transpiration. Those can be grouped under metabolism. Sebab itu adalah proses-proses yang benda-benda hidup akan jalankan untuk dia teruskan hidup. So, processes that living things do in order to keep living is also called metabolism. So, 3 daripada itu boleh dikira sebagai metabolism. Decomposition saya rasa kurang sesuai. Decomposition macam kurang sesuai lah. Let me double check with the notes that I give you. Yeah, decomposition kurang sesuai. Tapi everything else that you write in there, Christina, is correct. Adakah decomposition dalam nota? Oh, yang decomposition itu adalah pada bahagian trophic level. Sebab kalau decomposition means dia mati sudah. So, kadang bila dia sudah mati, it's like that's the maximum trophic level lah. Biasa kita terima yang sampai respiration, excretion, transpiration. Yang lain saya akan go through juga jawapan kamu ya, jangan risau. But really good answer. Thank you for that. Okay. Energy. You can say large amount or some of the energy is lost through metabolism. Kalau kamu tidak mau tulis metabolism ataupun kamu lupa macam mana mau tulis metabolism, kamu boleh juga ikut cara Christina, kamu tulis respiration, excretion, transpiration, etc. Very good. So this can get 1 mark. This is 1 mark. Okay, I'm moving on to the next answers that are in the chat. Lim punya jawapan dalam chat. Large amount of energy lost to environment as heat. Very good. So that one is also 1 mark. Itu adalah marka yang kedua lah. is lost as heat. So this is also 1. So di sini boleh dapat 2 markah sudah. Saya akan teruskan baca jawapan yang ada dalam chat. Syuhada tulis, because about 90% of the energy is lost to the environment. Kalau kamu tulis begini sahaja, tidak dapat markah, I think. Ataupun kalau jawapan Syuhada yang dia cuma cakap 90% of the energy is lost to the environment, tapi dia tidak jelaskan macam mana tenaga itu hilang, mungkin paling kesian lah itu pemeriksa mau bagi, dia bagi 1 markah saja. Tapi kalau saya ikut skema jawapan yang ada pada saya ini, dia tidak dapat markah. Good try, but needs to be more specific. Thank you, Syuhada. Marni's answer, 90% energy reflected away because used for movement, respiration, or the energy lost as heat. Jawapan Marni boleh dapat 1 markah sahaja because the part that is energy lost as heat, saya boleh bagi 1 markah. Energy reflected away cuma boleh digunakan untuk producer level sahaja. 90% of energy reflected away is only applicable to photosynthesizing producers. And because you put it in the same sentence as movement respiration, saya terpaksa kasih salah the whole part of the ayat. Okay. So Marni, 1 markah saja. But really good try. Thank you. I'm glad that you remember the part about producers. Okay. Jelas? Ada sebarang soalan lagi berkenaan soalan 2E? Okay, Uzair said no. Eveliska said no. Okay, thank you very much. Then we're going to continue on to 2F. Suppose the ecosystem in figure 2 has a greater number of herbivores than producers. How would this affect the ecosystem and the shape of the pyramid? Lebih banyak herbivore daripada producers. So the herbivores is going to be which trophic level? Ataupun kalau kita tengok berdasarkan di sini, okay, berdasarkan piramid dalam soalan kita, herbivore consumer mana satu? Yes, correct Uzair, correct Alicia. Herbivore will be the primary consumer. Correct Bessie. This one is herbivore. Secondary, tertiary consumer, sama omnivore ataupun carnivore. Okay, very good, very good. You're alert. All right, so suppose the ecosystem in figure 2 has greater. How will this affect the ecosystem and the shape of the pyramid? There's at least 2 things you need to answer here. How does it affect ecosystem? And what is the shape of the pyramid? Anybody got answer? Kalau kamu tidak dapat itu 2 markah pun, try saja jawab. Sekurang-kurangnya dapat 1 markah nih untuk 2F. I'm giving you a chance to type. While you are typing, I'm going to merepek masa exam. Ingat, cuba saja jawab. Walaupun kamu kurang yakin, cuba saja jawab. Kadang-kadang kita main tembak-tembak, cincai jawab saja pun dapat markah kesian 1, 2, 3, tanpa, boleh dapat A. Nah, it's worth a try. Okay, Christina has answered in the chat. Christina jawab, the shape of the pyramid will be partly inverted. Let me check, is it? Yes, it will be partly inverted. Kalau kamu mau tulis inverted or partly inverted pun boleh lah. Sebab ini kita kurang jelas dia punya ekosistem macam mana. Jadi dua-dua jawapan saya terima. Shape of pyramid. Shape of pyramid. Partly inverted. In case some of you are still bingung-bingung, if you are bingung, I will explain. Ini kita punya producer. I should use the other thing. Okay, ini kita punya producer. Kalau kita punya herbivore lebih banyak daripada producer. I should use a different color. Okay, green is producer. Pink is the herbivore. So anggap ini ulat bulu. Ulat bulu dia banyak. More than producer. And then what will eat the ulat bulu is the ayam. So the ayam, I want to make it orange. After the ayam, it's going to be ular. Saya punya ular warna biru. Okay, so this is how the pyramid is going to look. So this is partly inverted pyramid. Okay. Hold on, I accidentally closed that window. Okay. Doesn't it based on the pyramid of energy shown ka? Lim's question in the chat, isn't it based on the pyramid of energy shown? Even if it's the pyramid of energy, it is possible for it to be partly inverted, but the reason that applies to this question is because this question is hinting at an ecosystem that is going to become unstable. Okay? So that will bring us to the other mark in this question. Sepatutnya, pyramid of energy tidak boleh inverted. Tapi untuk soalan ni, possible untuk dia inverted. Sebab kalau kita punya herbivore jauh lebih banyak daripada producer, kemungkinan ekosistem kita menjadi tidak stabil. Okay, somebody who has answered this somewhat is Christina. Christina ada cakap di sana, number of producer decreases. So this is the effect on the ecosystem. Effect on ecosystem. Effect on ecosystem, reduce number of producers. Sebab kamu bayangkan kalau kamu punya kawasan itu jauh lebih banyak herbivore daripada kamu punya producer, lama-kelamaan producer kamu akan semakin sedikit sebab herbivore banyak makan. This is the ideal, but then eventually it becomes unstable. My answer here also writes an extra explanation. Saya baca saya punya jawapan. The effect on ecosystem is this will reduce the number of producers. In the long run, the number of organisms in each trophic level may also reduce. Saya malah dia punya penyambung ayat. Lama-kelamaan setiap trophic level punya bilangan itu pun akan perlahan semakin sedikit. Sebab bila tidak cukup producer, tidak cukup tumbuhan, first trophic level pelan-pelan mati, second trophic level pun perlahan-lahan mati, third trophic level pun perlahan-lahan mati sebab tidak cukup makanan. So you can add that to the effect on ecosystem if you want. I'm going to share this answer scheme later in the GC anyway, so you can have a look at it later. Okay, so this effect on ecosystem is 1 mark. Shape of pyramid partly inverted ataupun inverted is 1 mark. So that's how you get 2 marks to the question. Let me see if there are any other answers in the chat. Marnie answered in the chat, Shape partly inverted, number of carnivores increase as the herbivore has a great number to support them. Boleh dapat 2 markah. Okay, so my answer, Christina's answer can get 2 marks. Marnie's answer can also get 2 marks. Okay, if you have any questions, please ask now. If not, I'm going to move on to 2G. Okay, I don't think any questions, so I'm going to move on to 2G. What does a pyramid of biomass express? Anybody have the answer to 2G? What does a pyramid of biomass express? Apa yang ditunjukkan melalui pyramid of biomass? Any answers? Okay, Christina answered in the chat, pyramid of biomass express total dry mass of all organisms in each trophic level, correct? Nadi pun jawab, total dry mass of all organisms in each trophic level, correct? Very good. Syuhada pun bagi jawapan yang sama, total dry mass of organisms at each trophic level. Very good. So those are all correct, boleh dapat 1 markah. Shows total dry mass. Tapi kalau contoh lah, masa exam, kamu tidak ingat mau tulis dry mass, kamu tu cakap weight, berat, pun diterima juga. Of all organisms, yang penting kamu mention at each trophic level. Very good. Trophic. Okay. So that's 1 mark. Very good, very good. It should be very straightforward. Okay, if you have any more questions about 2G or any questions in question, atau mana-mana bahagian dalam question number 2, sila tanya sekarang sebelum saya pergi kepada question number 3. Shashul. Okay, sounds like we're good. Short 1-minute break for you to like stop thinking for 1 minute, and then later we'll go back to thinking. Okay, let's go back. 1-minute break is up. Cukup berehat, mari kita datang balik kepada kita punya tutorial question. Okay, so figure 3 is very ugly on my screen. Biasalah nih kalau Word dia akan hodoh, tapi ini sangat hodoh, apa boleh buat. I hope it's nicer on your PDF. I will get the printed copies for you sometime this week and give it to you next week when we have face-to-face. So I hope the printed ones will be less ugly. Anyway, cukup sudahlah saya komplain pasal ni diagram hodo. Figure 3 represents the transfer of energy through a woodland ecosystem. So woodland ecosystem, this could be a forest, for example. And we see here, this one is also talking about the energy. And then it starts with the sun, it goes to the plants. After the plant, it go to primary consumer. After primary consumer, go to secondary consumer. Secondary consumer, go to tertiary consumer. And at each level, there is also heat released to the environment. And when each organism at any trophic level dies, they will go decomposed by decomposers. Decomposers adalah pengurai. The numbers are not clear here. Who came up with this diagram? It's so ugly. Ugh. Alright, so I'm gonna continue to 3A. Arrange the following ecological term in the correct order. Maksud dia to arrange in the correct order adalah dari paling kecil kepada paling besar. Anyone wants to guess how to answer this one? I'm not sure if this is in your syllabus or not. Kalau kamu terbingung, maybe because it wasn't in the notes. Anyone wants to try in the chat? I will give you a hint. The smallest one is niche or niche, depending on which pronunciation you want to use. And the biggest one is biosphere. N-I-C-H-E, niche. The UK English pronunciation is niche. The US English pronunciation is niche. So, kalau kamu dengar itu perkataan mana-mana di internet ka, jangan terbingung lah. I like to say niche. Anybody? Ooh, okay, very nice, very nice. We've got Shifa and Farah's answer in the chat and also Shuhada's answer. So their answer is niche, habitat, niche, habitat, organism, very good, population, community, ecosystem, biome, biosphere. And their answers are correct. Okay, so betul. So urutan dia mula dengan niche, diikuti dengan habitat, habitat followed by organisms, organisms followed by population, population followed by community, community followed by biome, biome followed by biosphere. So very, very good. Shifa, Farah, and Shu. Thank you. Good job. Satu marka. Is there any terms there that you want me to explain? Okay, so no questions about 3A. Oh, biome is what? Biome is referring to the whole area which shares a similar climate and similar ecosystems. You can say that region is a rainforest biome. Means kalau dia dalam biome itu, dia semua macam dia punya ekosistem nampak macam hutan-hutan. Do any of you play, wow, what's the name? Do any of you play Subnautica? If any of you played the game Subnautica, or you've watched other people play that game, then we use the word biome a lot. Biome refers to the whole area, dia punya ekologi lebih kurang sama. So you have like a desert biome, you have a rainforest biome, you have ocean biome, freshwater biome, river biome. So macam when you say that word, it gives you a picture of what the place looks like. That's a biome. Biosphere refers to many biomes in one place. So the earth is one biosphere. Inside the earth is many biomes. Akil, I know you cannot afford, but you can still watch people play it. So you know what, at least you know what a biome is. I know you know that. Yeah. I have the first game, it's quite fun. It's a lot of biology. It's very fun. Anyway, I'm moving on. Okay, itu kalau ada soalan lagi pasal 3E atau pada pasal sistem pasal, if you have any more questions about 3A or those terms or about the ecosystem concept, feel free to ask in the chats, in the groups, ask me personally. I'm happy to answer. Okay, I'm moving on to 3B. Otherwise, we are doing this until tengah hari. I don't want to do this until tengah hari. So let's continue. 3B. 1. Give one example of decomposer. Somebody, very quickly. Answer. Thank you. Fungi. Christina said fungi is one example of decomposer. Very good. Dapat satu markah. Contoh lain decomposer. Bacteria is also decomposer. Saprophytic bacteria, correct. Bacteria, correct. Cacing tanah dan kumbang-kumbang lain kurang diterima sebagai decomposer. Protozoa. Protozoa. Protozoa macam no. Protozoa macam kurang diterima sebab kebanyakan protozoa adalah carnivorous. Yang dia makan benda yang masih hidup. So decomposer kurang sesuai untuk protozoa. Mushroom is under fungi, so that is correct. Cacing tanah dan pelbagai kumbang-kumbang yang makan tai, itu tidak dikira sebagai decomposer, itu dikira sebagai detritivores. Okay, so earthworms and other stuff are under another category called detritivore. Earthworm. Detritivore. I'm not sure what is the proper distinction between decomposer and detritivore. Kalau tidak silap lah, mengikut pemahaman saya, cara kita bezakan decomposer dengan detritivore. Detritivore ni dia makan benda yang besar. So they eat macromolecules. Contohnya, kucing itu kena langgar, mati, kena buang di tepi jalan. Giuk-giuk, cacing tanah, dan benda yang kamu boleh nampak dengan mata kasar yang makan kucing yang sudah mati itu adalah detritivore. Benda yang kita tidak nampak dengan mata kita, yang akan menguraikan bangkai kucing itu kepada molekul yang kita tidak boleh nampak dengan mata sendiri, itu adalah decomposer. So it's a matter of detritivores are eating macromolecules to produce slightly smaller macromolecules. Fungi and bacteria are decomposers that take something dead, decomposes it into micromolecules. Okay, so it's just very, very, very small. Kalau tidak mau hafal banyak, ingat saja decomposer, fungi, bacteria, selamat, settle. Okay, no need to go into the big debate. If you want to learn and betul-betul masuk bidang ekologi, this environment stuff, baru you try to hafal banyak benda pasal apa tu detritivore, apa tu decomposers. I'm moving on. 3B, 2. State the net amount of energy gained by secondary consumer to make their own tissues. Anybody want to try answer this? Okay, I'm giving you clue. Although my diagram is very ugly, it still included the clue. The clue here is you need to do something with this 6.5%. Berapa kilojoule tenaga yang secondary consumer dapat? Lim answers 65 blah 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 unit. Correct. Lim's answer is correct. Kalau kita mau kasih tunjuk jalan kerja, dia adalah 1000 m itu yeah minus 1 times 6.5% becomes 65 yeah that's what. As long as you get the final answer, you get 1 mark. This one should be okay, should be easy. I move on to 3B3. State the percentage of energy transferred from the producer to the primary consumer. So from producer to primary consumer, what is the percentage of energy? This one is very simple. I'm just going to do the calculation here. This one is 1000. Sebab primary consumer dapat 1000. Divide by 10,000, which is final divide by initial times 100%. Sebab dia minta persen. So you get 10%. Wow, what a surprise. And then that is 1 mark. I'm moving on to question 3C. Calculate the percentage of energy striking the producers that is converted in photosynthesis. From here to plants, from the sun to the plants, how many percent? That is what the question is asking. I use different pen lah for each question. This one I use green. How much? How much? Tell me. Tell me how much. For this one, we need to percentage converted in photosynthesis. Kita ambil saja yang daripada 10,000. 10,000 final divide by the initial. So 8 times 10 to the power of 5. Hati-hati masa kamu guna calculator. You make sure you're using your brackets or whatever correctly. Or your fractions correctly. And then you get 1.25%. As long as you get the 1.25%, you get 1 mark. Kalau di sini kamu tidak tulis 8 times 10 to the power of 5, kamu tulis 8, 5, 800,000 pun boleh juga. Nadi answers in the chat, 1.25%. Correct. Very good. Christina pun jawab tadi untuk question 3B3. Okay, thank you, Christina. Thank you, Nadi, for your answers. Should be okay. Okay, I'm moving on to 3D. Ya ampun, panjangnya soalan ni. Almost there. We have 5 minutes left to class. Okay. What happens to the energy that strikes the producers but not converted to chemical energy during photosynthesis? Yang tidak dijadikan dalam 1.25%. This is something you answered a little bit earlier. You said that it is being reflected to the atmosphere. Right. Energy or light energy is reflected to atmosphere or to the environment. Kalau kamu tidak, saya rasa jawapan reflect light is reflected away or reflected to atmosphere is the most correct answer. But if you answered something like the rest of the energy is used in transpiration or respiration or excretion, saya terima juga lah. Walaupun itu kira macam kurang tepat untuk level producers. Okay, so that is 3D. I'm moving on to 3E. Why? Siapa buat tulis dia punya English ni? Why the fourth consumers do not exist in this ecosystem? The better English sentence might be, why are there no fourth quaternary consumers? Siapa yang tulis ni? Siapa ajar kamu English ni? Quaternary. Tingkat keempat is quaternary. Why are there no quaternary consumers in this ecosystem? Untuk jawab soalan ini yang 2 markah, kamu boleh rujuk balik di nota kamu yang cakap pasal why are there no more than 5 trophic levels in this ecosystem. Blah, 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 blah. This one, you need to talk about their energy lost to the environment as heat or lost through metabolism. And the second point will be about how there is small quantity of energy left in the tertiary consumers. So sini jawapan dia saya tulis terus sebab saya mau kita rehat awal sikit. Terima kasih atas kerjasama kamu. Lost as heat. This is 1 mark. Okay. Second point, only small amount of energy left in tertiary consumers. Ataupun kalau kamu tidak tulis tertiary consumers, you say fourth trophic level. So, cannot support next trophic level. Kalau kamu tulis sampai only small amount of energy left in tertiary consumer, boleh juga dapat 1 markah, tapi sebaik-baiknya explain sampai penghujung lah, which is kalau sikit saja tenaga tidak dapat tampung trophic level seterusnya, baru kamu dapat the second point. Cannot sustain. Akil asked in the chat, cannot sustain? Yes, correct. It cannot sustain, but you need to explain how or why it cannot sustain, which is this bit. Small amount of energy left in tertiary consumers. Okay, so that is it for 3E. I'm moving on to 3F. 3F, suggest why the energy transfer in an ecosystem is described as a flow instead of as a cycle. Kenapa kita cakap energy in an ecosystem is a flow, aliran, tapi bukan cycle, kitaran? Energy cannot be recycled. Alice jawab dalam chat. Energy cannot be recycled. Yes, that is correct. Diterima. Or energy cannot be recycled back to the source. So the source of the energy in ecosystems is almost always from the sun. you can't exactly put the energy back to the sun. So it becomes more of a flow rather than a cycle. Dia tidak akan balik kepada dia punya titik permulaan. Tapi jawapan lain yang kamu boleh gunakan, contohnya energy cannot be created or destroyed but only transferred or transformed. So although we are looking at chemical energy when we look at energy transfer in ecosystems, after that organism uses the chemical energy, the chemical energy will become heat energy. It might become light energy. It might become potential energy, kinetic energy. So dia tidak akan masuk balik ke dalam flow itu sebagai chemical energy semula dan kita tidak dapat ukur balik. And another point is that energy conversion is inefficient. So some of it will always be lost as heat. So dia berbalik kepada inilah. Dia berbalik kepada this part. Oh, where's my drawing? Dia balik. Oh no, my laptop freeze. Oh no, my laptop, okay. It goes back to this. I cannot draw. It goes back to this bit. Okay, so Alice punya jawapan tadi, energy cannot be recycled. Lim asked in the chat, Miss, can I write energy just change form? Idea is correct, but not using the correct term. So you should say converted to another form. But yeah, can. Just change the keyword, boleh dapat 1 markah. Okay, so kalau kamu bingung, if you're confused, it's like the same few questions in this subtopic. Sekejap, heat release. Sekejap, metabolism. So like, if you're really stuck, just go back to those few things. Just saying. Okay. Syukur. Habis sudah pasal energy flow. Yay! If you have more questions about energy flow through ecosystems or the concept of food web, food chain, etc., feel free to ask. If you have the time, try to do these essay questions down here. Explain zonation of blah, 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 blah. Cuba buat sendiri. Nanti saya akan post dia punya answer scheme dalam GC juga. Nanti sekaligus kamu boleh upload. After you're done with the tutorial questions for this chapter, do upload it in the GC. I might prepare extra questions for population ecology. So, ini dia punya soalan kebanyakan cover sampai 2.4 saja. So, 2.5 nanti saya akan cari soalan tambahan lah supaya kamu tambah pandai. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. You've been very, very good, very, very kind, very, very helpful. I stop sharing screen. Before I end the class, I'm very sorry for taking extra time from your class today. Before we end, just quick announcements. I'm going to record the videos for 2.3, 2.4, and 2.5 soon, and I will send you the links in the group after it is uploaded. You need to do those things before this Thursday. This Thursday, I will not do Google Meet, but I will give you the questions in the Telegram channel. Macam minggu lepas yang saya buat itu soalan 1 sampai soalan 10, kamu jawab dalam sana and you get your answers right away. You can feel free to ask questions in the group. But most important, yang paling penting dan paling important adalah Kamis ini kita akan ada UPS 1 trial. So trial UPS 1 ini akan meliputi konten dari chapter 1 dengan chapter 2. Belajarlah so you feel good about seeing your marks afterwards. If you get low marks, that's okay. If you get high marks, I'll be very happy. You'll be very happy. We'll all be happy. And then on Friday, we can continue with the next class. Friday's class, I am going to talk about experiment 11, photosynthesis chromatography. Ini kita akan buat secara Google Meet. Nanti saya send kamu link untuk bahan-bahan dalam Telegram dan saya akan sertakan juga link dalam GC. Pastikan kamu tengok video dan baca manual itu sebelum hari Jumat ini. And then next week we will try to do the experiment in the lab. Moga-mogaan semua berjalan lancar. Happy birthday, because the 7th day of the Lunar New Year, according to Chinese tradition, is everybody's birthday. So happy birthday, everybody. If you don't know, why everybody birthday? I don't know. You Google or you ask people who know about Chinese New Year's. Welcome. Okay, thank you. And that's the end for today's class. I stop recording. That is the end for today's class. Thank you very much, everybody. Happy birthday. And I will see you again in the next class. Don't be lazy. Be good. Be smart. Love you. Bye. Okay.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.